Stripling here with Bobby Floyd Andy Woodson right there, and this is Offstage Live. Well, thank you. I can hear applause out there, I think. Yes, yeah, that's applause right there. Thank you. Would you please join me in thanking Bobby Floyd on the piano right there? More applause for him. A little bit louder for Bobby, yes, thank you. And the loudest for Andy Woodson right there. You know, right away we've got hellos from several people. We just want to thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. First one's from Susie. Then we got Rosemarie, who we love so much. We got a hello from Chris, from Michelle, from Phil. We want to thank our friends at the Vale Jazz Festival, and they've just shared us, and so we encourage you to share this with all your friends. Before we play something else, a couple housekeeping things. Jazz Zoo 2020 has been canceled, and we are, unfortunately, we're sorry about that. But what we know is what's most important is your health and the health of our audience and our band. So that's been canceled, but we will be back with a triumphant return next summer. So look for that for us. We, like every nonprofit, are in a difficult situation right now, and what we want you to do is we're going to ask you for your help. So when you have a chance, please go to jazzemergencyfund.com. And I've been told I don't put the D on that word, so it's jazzemergencyfund.com. And if you go there, you can use check, you can use cash or whatever, but that gives you a chance to uplift our organization for some needed funds, because the coronavirus has really devastated the entire arts community, and we always hear of people shutting down things and all. That's not going to happen here, because we're dealing with a 47-year-old legacy. And we know that with legacy comes great responsibility. So we're going to be great stewards of this organization. And as we're doing right now, we're going to keep the music playing. Incidentally, I want to share with you a few of the people that have helped us so kindly. John and Patricia Amendola, David and Diana Arthur, who we had a chance to speak with just a few days ago, Stephen Gordon, Shirley McComb, Tom Welsh, and his wife, Kevin and Powell, and so many others. We realize that no act of kindness is too small to help us out. By the way, on June 10th and June 11th, the Columbus Foundation will launch the Big Give. That's 25 hours of giving. And so we encourage you to give to the Jazz Arts Group through the Big Gig. Why? And I just heard you. You said why, right? You said why. You said why because if you give during the Big Give, your gift is amplified, which is a word that I love so much. I love when people amplify me. And so your donation will be amplified, which means that they'll add an additional part to it. And also, there are no credit card, please. So please consider donating at that time. We want you to know that the Columbus Jazz Orchestra, when we get a chance, we'll announce it, but we will soon be back as soon as we can. As soon as we're allowed to, and as soon as it's safe. That's the most important thing. And we're going to bring you the hand clapping, toe tapping, belly bumping music that you love so much. Let's give you another little song. Can we do some blues in E flat? Just play a few courses for me. Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Thank you. That didn't have a title, so we need a title for that. So if you'd like to send in suggestions, you can maybe. Now, if you title it, you don't get the money from it, though. So that's just
Watch
one of the
Andy
big.
Sweat. That's the title.
Watch Andy Sweat could be a potential title. We want to send a big shout out to hello to the great Pete Mills. He says, "You sound and look great, fellas." Pete, do you realize that I've lost a little bit of weight? You did not mention that. So I would appreciate if you put comment that everybody should put. Say everybody's gaining, I'm trying to lose, you know. You know how it is when you get bored around the house during the quarantine, and everybody has about, a lot of people up to 10 quarantine pounds, you know, and expanding. But COVID pounds. So Bobby Floyd. Is Bobby's mic on? Can Bobby say, Bobby?
I'm here.
Tell me what, because you have a thing. Are you going to go to a gig right after that?
Yes,
So
I am.
you are the only piano player in America that has 2 gigs today.
Just 2 today, and that's it. Just today.
So tell me where your gig is.
I'm playing at the Mansion, and of course it's going to be a live stream from the Mansion, and we start at I believe it's 7 o'clock tonight.
7 o'clock.
And it's for an hour, and it's the trio: Derek DeCenzo on bass, Reggie Jackson on drums,
Right.
and yours truly on organ.
Okay, beautiful.
Yeah. Did I say Derek DeCenzo on bass?
Yes.
Derek
On
is
guitar.
playing guitar.
Yeah.
Right. He plays guitar when I play organ.
Well, he also plays timbales, doesn't he?
He plays everything.
So you're not giving him credit. He actually plays B3, so watch out.
Watch out. I make sure that he stays away from the B3. I don't want him taking all my gigs.
I know. But Bobby, such a joy to have you with us today, and I'm glad you're available for that.
Thank you.
And Andy Woodson, you just played a gig with Flippo, was it? Can you talk in your mic and tell us what that gig was about?
Sure. Well, we played at the same place that Bobby's playing tonight. It has 2 names: the Snowden Mansion and the Blue Velvet Room inside the Snowden Mansion. And I played with a small version of this band that I play with called Flippo, which is named after the popular Columbus TV celebrity from the 70s and 80s, I guess. He was a clown who I won't go into all that. I don't even really know that much about him. But anyway, we played the entire album from John Coltrane, Johnny Hartman, the one album that they did. We played it with Ron Jenkins, a singer who works with our group quite a bit,
Yeah.
a really good singer. And we played that, plus featured Michael Cox on
I was
some.
going to say, Michael played like the Coltrane part.
Oh yeah, and he gets very serious about that. I think he played a couple transcriptions that he did
Yeah,
of trained stuff, just because he
No.
doesn't have to. I mean, his solos are great,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
that's kind of a thing we do sometimes. We just completely want to nail somebody's part.
Yeah.
If we sometimes we do a weather report show, and sometimes I'll play Jaco Pastorius bass solos that I've transcribed because I can't come up with anything better than that. So,
Right, yes.
that sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, Mike and Michael Cox and also Pete Mills are 2 great tenor saxophone players from living in Columbus with the Columbus Jazz Orchestra. We want you guys to look out for their names whenever you see them. We want you to check them out. Do you guys remember Alone Together? Do you remember that? Do you have that in your? Yeah, that we used to play Alone Together.
Right.
I think, is it F minor?
Kenny Dorham, right?
Yes. So I'm gonna have Andy pull that up, and that's a beautiful ballad, and we'll play that for you. And hopefully, if you don't like it, don't say anything. If you really like it, then just tell us how great we are. So here we go. 2, 3, 4. great song, Alone Together. You know, Judy Garland sang that one at Carnegie Hall, I think, on one of her albums. A really beautiful song, and we thank you for the great talents of Bobby Floyd and Andy Woodson. Incidentally, if you like to help the Columbus Jazz Group even more, the Columbus Jazz Orchestra and the Jazz Arts Group even more, please consider returning your tickets to CAPA, that's the Columbus Association for Performing Arts, for the shows that we had to cancel because of the virus. That's the March and April shows. And so what you'll do with that, you'll call CAPA, and I'll give you their phone number here. It's 614-469-0939. And all you do is you call them up and just say, hey, I'd like to donate my tickets back to the Columbus Jazz Orchestra. And then that will allow for us even more flexibility in the things that we do in the future. And we would just so appreciate that. That's an easy way to make a donation to us. You know, this past Thursday, our Director of Jazz Education, I should just say education because he educates us all, Zach Compston, he interviewed the members of the Huntertones. And if you didn't have a chance to see that one, now, is that still available? Can they see? So go to like our Jazz Arts Group page and kind of scroll down, and you'll see that interview with the members of the Huntertones. We're so proud of them because they were kind of born in Ohio, and they're really getting national recognition now. So whenever I ask one of my students, I say, who's your favorite trumpet player? And I go like this. And he goes, what's the guy from Huntertones, the trumpet player? John, he's going to be mad. John Lampley. I'm sorry, John, if you're listening. Don't be mad at me. I still love you. But yeah, he goes, John Lampley's my favorite trumpet player. And he's a great, and also, we know that Chris Ott is watching, and so we love you, Chris. And so, you know, I have ESP. That's how I find out these things. They're just, they come to me. But go ahead and watch that Huntertones interview. It's a fantastic interview done by Zach. And we want you to know that next Thursday, Zach will be interviewing. Is there a drum roll we could have here? There we go. I like that. The great Vaughn Weister. And Vaughn is like, he's a legend in Columbus history, Columbus music history. And so that's at 6:30 p.m. on Thursday, right? 6:30 p.m. And by the way, hello, Lee Burgess. We love you, Lee. And I've been told that you're married to Bobby. Bobby's your husband. But we can't have that today because your wife might be watching. So she knows about it. She approves. And we send our best wishes to your wife, too. We love her so very much. Today, we talk about, just for a few minutes, music and memory and the power of music. And I wanted to just, in that regard, share a little personal story with you. In 2012, my father started showing little signs of dementia. It began with just a little bit of forgetfulness, and then it's basically the kind of forgetfulness, you know, we all deal with, like, where are your keys? Which for me, they're always, you know, it's like my kids go, Dad lost his keys again, and they're always in my pants from the night before. That's usually where they are. But it's, you know, other kind of stuff. It's just asking the same questions. So I started to notice that a little bit. But for my dad, the whole process began to kind of crescendo into more complex schedules or scenarios. And so one day his wife had called me and she said, I've been trying to get a hold of your dad who went to the gym this morning and haven't been able to hear back from him for about 5 hours. And he hasn't answered, and I've been calling him. I'm getting ready to call the police. Well, she spoke to the police, and the police said, we have to wait about 24 hours before we actually do anything for you, but just keep in touch with us. And before hanging up, the policeman said, you know, if he does have a medical condition, we can track him possibly. And she says, well, actually, he has diabetes. It's like, we can track him because he could be in insulin shock or something like that. And they tracked him. It was very easy. They tracked his iPhone and found out my father was just simply lost. And that was the first big sign of us that he had had dementia. I was just thankful he turned on his phone because it's 70-some years old. The phone was not an important thing to him like it is for all of us. He never turned on his phone. The police found him instantly, but that was the beginning of a journey that Ronald Reagan's daughter, remember Patty Davis, she called it the long goodbye, because then from there things start to go down. Fast forward to 2012, I received another call from his wife, and there she said, I just arrived home and it appears your father may have just had a stroke. Now, she's an angel, and she's also a registered nurse, so she was right on it. I was working in Houston. I came back as soon as I could, and my doctors told me when I got there to prepare for the worst. All I could do was think about music as soon as I thought about that. I mean, that's the best gift that my father could have ever given me, and the gift that I hold with me even today. He and my amazing mother took us to see operas and symphonies and all kinds of classical music. We saw live Leontine Price, Beverly Sills, Marian Anderson. They took us to hear her speak, one of the legends of classical music, Count Basie, Dizzy Gillespie, and the Duke Ellington Band I got to see 3 times because my parents took us to high schools to see Duke Ellington's band. When my father would get home, he would play Miles Davis. He would play Stevie Wonder. He'd play the Four Tops. When I'm getting that news from the doctors, I was totally despondent. But as always, I always went back to music. Do we know my buddy? So then I went to this song. Can you help me out, Bobby? Nights so long since you've been away, I think about you all through the day, my buddy. Yeah, my buddy. Nobody quite so true. I miss your voice, the touch of your hand. I just want to know that you'll understand, my buddy. My buddy. Your body misses you. The great Bobby Floyd and Andy Woodson right there. Y'all need to go ahead and applaud in your respective rooms, in your homes there. I've missed playing with you guys so much and just playing music with anybody. I play with records, but it's just not the same. So that's a song that I always went back to, my buddy, because my father continues to be my buddy. The doctors were wrong about him. They didn't know how strong he was. He is still with us today. Although he's in hospice, I've been told 100 times, come see your father, come see your father. He's not going to be here too long. But my father is resilient. He's a strong, passionate man, and I'm inspired by the fight that he's had during this period of time. But it becomes hard because when I would begin to visit my father, as time went on, he didn't seem to know who I was. And I would get bugged about that, but it wasn't about me. It was really about him. The fact that I could just be with him for a period of time and just let him know that I was there. And the one way that we could communicate was all the things that I mentioned to you before. And it was the music. It was the power of music. So I was fortunate enough one time to be with Bobby Floyd in Fort Worth, Texas. And that's an area where my father was in a memory care facility. And I said, Bobby, would you come with me, and we'd like to play for a group of people in this facility. My father's among them, and he absolutely agreed. And I said, I don't know what we'll do, but it seems like they want us to play. And I asked if, because that's all I knew how to do. So we got there, and they wheeled in all these people who seemed to be almost in a dreamlike state. And we began to play, and all of a sudden that dreamlike state turned into people almost waking up, simply because we were playing music. We played things like When You're Smiling. I think we might have played America the Beautiful, all songs that like people of that generation would have known. And it was amazing to watch people wake up out of almost like a dream state. I was so impressed at the power of music. And then at one point, my father really began to cry. Bobby, I think it was when you started playing Amazing Grace and some other songs like that. And I quickly went over to his wife and I said, is he sad? And she goes, no, he's happy. He's happy to be hearing this music. And my father, again, he woke up out of that sleep and he was bouncing around. And at one point, my drummer was there playing brushes on a phone book. And he went like this to my drummer, Rich Thompson. And it was a great experience for me. And so then I remembered another song. Do you remember Look for the Silver Lining? Can we try that one? Because this one always makes me think of that silver lining. Look for the silver lining whenever a cloud appears in the blue. Remember somewhere the sun is shining, and so the right thing to do is make it shine for you. A heart full of joy and gladness will always banish sadness and strife. So always look for the silver lining and try to find the sunny side of life. A heart full of joy and gladness will always banish sadness and strife. So always look for the silver lining and try to find the sunny side of life. So you have to know that my father was the choir director, and when your father's the choir director in church, you have to sing in the choir. It doesn't matter if he needs a soprano, alto, tenor, or bass. You got to be able to sing all those parts. But that was another musical memory he left for me, and when Bobby played some of those old gospel songs, my father really woke up, and the whole place, it was amazing. In fact, after the performance, these people who were in this dream state, they started talking to us. And they said, thank you for the music and things like that. And there's one song my dad used to love to do. Remember, the Lord is blessing me. No, what key were we in?
B flat.
I mean, I think it's appropriate to do this Sunday, right? The Lord is blessing me right now. Oh, right now. The Lord is blessing me right now, right now. He woke me up this morning and started me on my way. And that's why the Lord is is blessing me right now, right now, right now. Hey, the Lord is blessing me right now, oh, right now. Yes, the Lord is blessing me right now, oh, right now. Hey, he woke me up this morning and started me on my way. And that's why the Lord is blessing me right now, right now, right now. Play it for him, Bobby. Blessing me right now, oh, right now. Hey, the Lord is blessing me right now, oh, right now. Hey, he woke me up this morning and started me on my way. And that's why the Lord is blessing me right now, right now, right now. That's the Lord is blessing me. We want to say a couple thank yous and a couple hellos out to Todd Freeman. We love you so much. And your wife and your beautiful son, we love you. Nikki Perrott, I love you. And you say you love hearing Bobby and Byron. Why didn't you say me first? It should be Byron and Bobby.
Hi, Nikki.
Nikki, Andy. And by the way, go to Nikki's page. She plays bass, and then she does a cooking show. Have you guys seen this? And she like makes this Spanish dish. It's on Facebook. So go check out Nikki. As soon as you finish here, don't leave here, because we got one more song for you. So look, this process of going through, which all of us here have experienced, a parent, a friend, or a loved one with dementia or Alzheimer's, is a tough road. But what we know is that music is here to lift you up. So imbue yourself with it. Let it be joyous to you. Let it fill you with happiness and love. And remember those good times. The final thing I want to emphasize to you is that don't forget the caretakers, the people that take care of those people with dementia and Alzheimer's. Their job is not a 2-hour job or a 3-hour job. Their job is a 24-hour job. I give big thanks to my brother who moved down to be with my father to take care of him, and I give all praise and thank you to the great Libby Stripling for taking care of my father 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. She is an angel, and many of you out there have angels that are caring for your friends, your family, and your loved one. And you need to stop right now as soon as it's over and give them a call and say thank you. Doing that, as we go through this coronavirus thing, we don't know what the end of it's going to be, but what we need to know is we need to keep lifting each other up and use your light to do that. So as we come to a close today, we say thank you so much, and we play a little song for you that you might remember. I'll just start playing it, y'all, and if y'all can join me, please do. I said, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine in the morning, this little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Yeah, now everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. All people, everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine in the morning. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Come on, Bobby, let your light shine. Well, we want to thank you for joining us for Offstage Live. We remind you to join us next Sunday at this same time, and we will have Bobby Floyd and Micah Thomas as our special guest. Please join Zach Compton on Thursday at 6:30 when he talks to the great Von Weister. Ladies and gentlemen, we love you with all our hearts, and we'll see you next time. Yeah, now this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine in the morning. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it. It feels good out here. I said it feels good out here to be playing with real musicians, to be playing with Andy Woodson, playing with Bobby Floyd. We thank you, Libby Stripling. We thank you, the staff of the Jazz Arts Group, working hard. We love everybody out there. Let it shine, let it shine, let